good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.
Tonight is literally good night.
To America, you're saying.
Oh, man.
Oh, you mean it's nighttime.
I just meant nighttime.
Oh, I thought you meant America's bye-bye tomorrow.
That is...
America goes bye-bye.
Good night, democracy, as well. And good night to what Juan Epstein was supposed to be, Ciph.
Was my mic on?
Not if you didn't turn it on.
I just turned it on.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Hold on. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good night. And good night, America.
Why?
America's going bye-bye tomorrow.
Okay, that's right. Because the end of the world.
My mic's on now.
Yeah, now we have to do everything just again.
Because keep the other one, because I liked it. But you won't hear it. Don't keep it.
Anyways, we're off to a good start. And, Ciph, you got to be concerned. You are outnumbered today when it comes to Jews. The Epstein portion of this show is out of control.
Yeah.
The Rosenthals are here. It's the real.
I'd just like to say that, contrary to popular belief, we are not Jewish.
Really?
By the way, not kidding. My mic wasn't on that time. So should we put those together? No, I think we should just let those both play. I think it's sad. You'll hear it enough. All right. Well, the Rosenthals are here. And you guys are not Jewish.
We are not Jewish.
Not tonight.
Yeah, no, not tonight.
We're all...
Now, the Rosenthals are here. Why now, you'd say? Because we could obviously get together and talk anytime.
Oh, we've never been invited before. That's why we're here.
By the way, no, that is a very good point. So what you did was you seized an opportunity.
We did, yeah.
Instead of just being like, even though you could have just as easily on like a random week just been like, hey, you guys have nobody, we'll do the show.
I don't know your schedule.
Well, neither do we. What you guys experienced in booking this is just called every week of the podcast.
Wait, do you guys still have a weekly podcast, or is this coming out like next month?
No, this is out this week.
We never said we had a weekly podcast.
Very good point.
We just have a podcast.
Oh,
okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very brave.
Nowadays, all these podcasts, they have these schedules and they're weekly. We have a podcast called Juan Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's a brand.
It's 10 years old, almost.
Congratulations,
it's
guys.
10 years old this year.
That to me.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know when?
We can figure it out.
When did you move up here?
July 2007. Okay. So it would be like August probably. I'd have to look, but probably August this year.
Okay, so end of summer, beginning of fall, 2007. We started this nonsense.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was having a lot of Juan Ep thoughts today.
Oh.
Thoughts galore, and I have some cool Juan Ep stuff to show you too.
Please.
But I'll show you shortly. And if I seem a little frazzled and worn out today, it's not only because it's the end of the world as we know it, and we're recording this on Thursday night, and by the time you're hearing this, in all likelihood, unless I'm not going to get this out tonight, I'll probably get it tomorrow morning. In all likelihood, by the time you hear this, Donald Trump is president. There's no longer elect. It's President Donald Trump. Yeah. So, in fact, I kind of want to talk to future me and future everyone. If when you're hearing this, stay strong, future. So yeah, I'm a little frazzled, and I had this week has been a brutal. I haven't had a week like this in a while. Like every night, something to do.
Oh, you're popular.
No, come on, stop. No, that's you guys. You know what I would call it? A Rosenthal's week. Or like I had an event to go to of some sort. Although you guys don't seem like you're as much on that as you once were.
Where everybody likes you and you just get invited to everything.
Exactly.
Yep, that's us.
Can I tell you?
Are you guys still like that? Or
No, because the only thing that we're focused on right now is our headlining show at SOBs on February 23rd.
So you're now, instead of... But doesn't that mean you should go out more?
To promote?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, maybe we're just doing a bad job.
I mean, tonight we're going to see 21 Savage at the Fader, so we are going way young.
Yeah, seriously, you have to.
I'm being serious.
I think I already know what's going to go.
No, I'm being serious. How do you get invited to that?
To the Fader thing?
Tonight, yeah.
We were on a BCC'd email, so we didn't feel that
so
special.
This is a good question, though, for you.
I'm being serious.
No, I know, and this is a good starting point, because I want to tell you right now. You have been in the business for a long time. Yeah. You've accomplished many things. Started careers for huge names, Rick Ross, Rihanna. You basically, Dave Chappelle started his career.
Bobby Trends.
Bobby Trends, exactly. Many names. You don't get invited to, I'm guessing, almost anything anymore.
Not anymore. I never did.
Never did. Okay, got it. Me too, basically. These are the people. You should interview them today. We're not just going to hawk tickets to their SOB show on February 23rd. What we're going to do is you should get information. Mm-hmm. Why do people like them more than us and invite them to everything? By the way, I feel like this is
the basis of our relationship. Every single conversation is.
Yeah, why? No, but not in a long time. I thought we haven't had this conversation specifically in a little while. But in real life, we've had this conversation.
Sure. This is how we.
But don't you think it's been at least a year? I think probably. Okay.
I believe
our first conversation was about this. We were going to Danielle Smith's birthday party, and you were like.
Why don't I get invited to?
Yeah. How do I?
Also, this argument was 10 years old, so happy anniversary, guys.
So yeah, you should ask them.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So how did you guys get and see? Watch this because I'm a great journalist. Mm-hmm. It also begs the question. It tells the story of who the Rosenthal's are. Mm-hmm. How did you become these guys who are so likable and who everyone invites to everything? And those things they go together, your career and your popularity.
I think an honest answer is that we have an unconventional schedule. And so now, Ciph, you're one of us. You don't have that. Not that it was ever a 9 to 5, but you have those off hours to make yourself known. Like, I think one of the reasons why people like us is because we don't go away. We stop in people's offices. We, bring them stupid promo items. We go to all these parties. We make it our thing to be everywhere and anywhere. So that's what we've been doing for 10 years.
Well, and you can stay up late to go to events and stuff too.
Well, also, right? I think the main thing is that we haven't been competition to anybody. Like, we've just done our own thing.
That's true too. That's true.
What you mean in terms of staying likable to people and not creating any issues with anyone?
Yeah, like we literally have no issues with like anybody.
Right.
The only people that you ever had issues with was literally the most likable, unlikely to fight with human beings person on Earth.
Right. Which, yeah.
Is that for public consumption?
I mean, he made it public consumption.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With you.
Yeah, exactly. They got into a fight somehow. They pissed off Donald Glover.
No, you want. By the way, the craziest thing is if you search for "It's the Real," as I do sometimes.
Of course, you're a normal human.
On Google, you type in "It's the Real," and the second thing that comes up is Childish Gambino tweet.
Yeah, do you remember this at all?
No, not at all.
Well, we're kind of getting derailed here because the point was actually explain though. That's how, to make a long story short, by being such regular faces in people's lives, you became someone who, even if you're then removed for a while, you're still on the email list to get invited to these things that Ciph might want to go to, though he probably wouldn't show up anyway.
By the way, I disagree. I do think that when we were doing weekly videos, we were on like everybody's list, and we were getting invited to everything. But I think that since then, we don't get invited to all the same places. I think that we definitely have taken a step back in terms of our public, sort of face. But then we do stuff like this when we're putting together the show, where we are making it a point to be like, hey, like we're here and this is what we're doing.
So when we started out 10 years ago doing these weekly sketches, I think that people liked us initially because we were doing something different. Like we caught your guys' eyes because we were out there, we were producing regular content, and it wasn't like anything anyone else was providing online at the time.
That's right.
So that we kept that going and provided content over the 10 years doing sketches, interviews, podcasts, music, whatever else we've done over the last 10 years. We're still around. We're still making it a point to show up at people's birthdays, at different events that people are throwing, and show our faces.
Yeah, we show up for people's birthdays for business only.
That's right.
Business purposes only.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah. Do you think we're ruining this right now that everyone knows now?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Danielle Smith, even going back, whatever birthday you were celebrating 10 years ago, they were just there to network.
Yeah. I was passing out business cards, and I was like, hi, how can I get on your email list so you can invite me to future events?
I'm at this party because I want to go to future parties.
Strictly.
Can you
just
please,
with future.
Yeah, can you please invite me? So, all right, so then let's retell Ciph the Donald Glover story. And honestly, I need to retell it too, retold too, because all I remember is I was at SOB's dealing with it.
Don't skip ahead.
Yeah, so. Yeah, exactly. That's a good story.
Okay, so what happened was...
and why not celebrate Donald Glover on this first podcast since he officially took over the world 2 weeks ago?
I would like to say we are fans of everything that he is doing.
Including Atlanta, of course.
Oh, especially Atlanta.
Right, of course. All right, so go ahead.
Okay,
tell the story.
So Donald Glover was in Australia, and he says that he is a better rapper than Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q.
And he's on stage saying this, and it's recorded, and it goes everywhere online.
I remember this now, yes.
The entire internet goes in on him, including me. And I say a very soft thing. This is like, 12 hours later. I say a very soft thing that morning motivation, if he says that he's better than Drake, Schoolboy Q, and Kendrick, you can believe anything you want. Have a good Monday.
So
nothing crazy.
Donald is somebody that we've known here and there. We've seen him at different events. We've interviewed him.
We met him twice.
We're aware of each other. We know that Peter, you're very close with him.
Right.
So Jeff sends that off. And by the way, our Twitter, like our videos, like whatever, is a mix of humor and some intelligence and whatever. And
But can be snarky. That's not out of the ordinary.
It wasn't like I went at. I would not describe it as me going at Donald Glover.
Listen, I would say that we've said a lot of harder things in a roasting tradition. Like our second video ever, we threw Lloyd Banks an early retirement party. Okay,
right.
So we had a video where we I know this was Cif's favorite video at the time, where after Rick Ross was outed as a CO, as a corrections officer, we did an animated video where he had his own theme park called Rick Ross's Land of Make Believe, right?
And the best ride was Foxy Brown.
The Foxy Brown, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we've said things all in mostly in jest.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so this goes on. You send out that tweet.
Yes, and it does. It's not like it goes viral. Maybe 2 retweets, 5 favorites, nothing crazy.
So obviously, we live together on the Upper West Side. Jeff goes to sleep, shuts his door in his room, and I'm online, and I see all of a sudden 1 million mentions on our Twitter, and I check over. I was like, what is this? And Donald's day-to-day manager, best friend, Fam,
right.
ats us.
He said it'd be hilarious. He added Peter first.
Oh yeah, he added Peter, and he said, "Wouldn't it be great if
me?
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if at ItsTheReal
got smacked
the fuck up?"
Yeah,
and I was like, well,
He wrote that to Peter.
Yeah, he said,
just you
at Rosenberg Radio. Wouldn't it be hilarious if at ItsTheReal got smacked the fuck up?
Right. That tweet does not exist anymore, I don't think, but I do have it screenshotted. So I was like, well, that's interesting. That's funny. I was like, well, now this is time to wake Jeff up and sort of figure out what is going on. And so I wake Jeff up and I'm like, hey, can you take care of our lawyer situation? I'm going to get Peter involved and hopefully broker out whatever this is. So I hit.
What time of the day is this?
This is
late night.
midnight. Yeah, this was 12 hours after I had tweeted the thing.
So I hit Peter, and Peter's like, okay, I'm on stage at SOBs right now. So what's your phone number? And I'm like, I'm texting you right now.
How hip hop is that? Sometimes I'm so hip hop I don't even realize it. Like saying someone like, "Yo, give me your math, fam," and I'm texting it to you right now.
So I guess I said, look, here's my number again. But Donald or Fam or anybody can call us and we can talk this out, and we'll tell them we said stuff about Lloyd Banks or Mano or all these different people who. No one, certainly all these guys have bigger reputations in the streets than Donald does, or seemingly his team. This doesn't need to be threats. So let's just talk it out. And Peter handled it outside of that and hit us back an hour later. Something was all taken care of and don't worry about it. And that's cool. So flash forward.
Probably 8 months or something.
No, I think it was less than that.
Whatever.
But Jeff,
I went on a trip. I went overseas.
Yeah.
And so I'm there.
I remember that. Your random vacation overseas by yourself.
Yes.
Was very interesting, but that's a whole other story. You just went and explored Europe.
Yeah, by myself.
Dolo.
By the way, our brother Dan is doing that tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
He's following your lead.
It's his turn.
Yeah.
So, so a little while later, Jeff goes off to Europe, and he's in Paris, right?
Yeah.
And I go to visit our mom on the east side and say hello.
By yourself?
And I did go by myself. And I got an email from a friend of ours over in London who was like, hey, check minute 23 and 30 seconds or something like that of this interview. And he sends a link to Peter interviewing Donald, and it's whatever, Hot 97 labels it the greatest freestyle ever, something like that, right? So it's a 40-something minute interview, and in the smack in the middle of it, it's Donald being yo, he's this year is all about positivity and being real and being honest and being true, and
then he motions towards the door and he goes, what are those guys' names again?
Yeah, who are they?
It's the real, right?
It's the real, yeah. And then he's just and then it brings up the whole story again, and Peter was very diplomatic and was like, hey, look, I know they're good guys, you know they're good guys. It was a tweet. They didn't mean much by it. It wasn't anything. And because of that, which still remains and is the greatest freestyle ever on Hot 97's fucking
It's got like
popular YouTube
10
page.
million views, yeah.
People look at that and are just like, well, let me go find this tweet between It's the Real and
Oh,
Donald
do you guys
Glover.
ever get random tweets about it still as a result, or no?
I
Not
don't
anymore.
think so.
And by the way, I deleted it immediately because I was like, well, if this is an issue, then I should get rid of the evidence.
Also, by the way, it should be said. So I'm over at our mom's
This is the
place.
softest beef of all time,
No,
by the way.
so-
On all
yeah.
counts. The original tweet's not that bad. This is Kobe beef. It
Yeah.
really
The
is.
other one is like veal.
Yeah.
Baby lamb?
Yeah.
It is like baby lamb.
By the way,
This is not even beef, it's fish. This is like toro tartar.
I was over at our mom's place, right? Like, and I'm watching this video in her kitchen, and like, why is this coming up again all these months later? And right at that moment, Jeff had Skyped in or FaceTimed or whatever with our mom to be like, hey, I'm in Paris, I'm still alive, like, how's it going?
And mom has like never seen technology before, so she's just like, "Oh my god!"
And I'm in the kitchen watching Donald Glover like kill our career, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And so I walked all the way home. I had a really bad headache walking home, thinking like, what is this?
Why the RZA?
Oh, you never read the RZA book?
I haven't read the RZA book.
Walk around Staten Island. That's where he came up with the whole concept of Wu-Tang.
And that's how Eric came up with the whole concept of Wu-Tang.
That's
So,
right.
yes.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was the day that you created the flux capacitor.
That was it. That was it.
And
I
Wu-Tang.
thought,
Yeah.
you know how we get past this? We perform at SOBs on February 23rd.
Wait, so did
in the
anything else
future.
ever happen? That was it.
That was it?
That might have been it.
But what's the... Because it came back up in that... that freestyle's so big.
That freestyle is... So anyway, if you Google
but
It's
also
the Real...
he has devoted fans, and so I mean, like people were like.
And the funny
talking
thing is,
about it
too,
then.
I'm sure there's a lot of crossover between like people who like us and people who like what he does. And so...
More from his side.
Of
let's be
course,
real,
yeah.
Well, listen, it's a diagram. They're both circles of different sizes, and the circles do cross over each other.
Yeah, that is right.
At some point.
That's
Yep,
right.
sure.
So I believe like that causes our Google mentions, to be like...
Yeah, I think I remember. And listen, I think we talked about this at the time, and it's something that I have literally done exactly what you did to him to other people 1,000 times. I've had it done to me also. Like where it's someone you generally like and think is awesome, and you say sort of an offhanded slight about them. And we've been talking about this a lot recently, like not knowing how something impacts someone or makes them feel. In that case, it's actually kind of nice that he said it. At least like you understood, like you hurt his feelings. Like he thought you'd had good interviews with you guys before. Probably thought you were people who totally get his sensibility and thought he was good. He is good,
Yeah.
right? And then it just felt like, oh, well, you thought I was good until I said I was in a conversation or better than the best, and now you're kind of basically like, well, if you think that, well, right? It's like, even though if you were to have like an argument, if someone say, hey, Jeff, do you really think he's not even remotely in the conversation? You'd be like, no, I'm sure we can have a conversation about it, but it seemed like a lofty thing for him to proclaim at the time.
Right.
Yeah,
And so
and-
you were just poking fun at that.
Right,
Yeah.
and by the way, like another way to handle it would have been to go through you to say like, "Hey, your friends are jerk-offs. Like, put me in touch with them and let me threaten them over the phone." But
Yeah. Or he could.
Well, but he didn't do it.
No,
Fam
he-
did it.
right,
Yeah,
right,
Fam,
right.
Fam
Fam threatened us and got all his fans to threaten us, and that was
Right.
Fam should have smacked us the fuck up.
That's right. No, he should have done it in person
Yeah.
rather than online. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
No, it's so. But it is funny knowing them that was something that
Set them off.
Yeah, like
this is
Fam's one of those
something that I
relaxed
think
people
about-
of all time.
This is something I think about every day.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're
beef.
discussing it
this
right
beef
now.
is
It follows you.
It rages
haunts
on.
you.
So to answer your question, Ciph, we are popular in terms of people's birthday parties outside of Donald Glover.
Never.
He's
Donald,
never invited
him
us
having
to.
a birthday party where he invites people is not a likely scenario. Ciph, I'm guessing you weren't surprised by the Golden Globes, but were you like?
Surprised?
You were surprised?
I actually watched them this time.
Really?
that's
And you know what's funny?
surprising.
I'm surprised.
I
yeah.
actually didn't for the first time in years.
I never watched it. It was pretty good, actually.
I've watched most every year, and this year I've barely seen any of the movies. So I was like, forgot. Totally forgot about Atlanta and TV being part of it.
Oh.
So then my phone, people started hitting me like, yo, Donald, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, Alexa, we forgot that and I was like, and of course he's winning, and winning multiple.
We won 2, I think.
Yeah. He
What-
won
what
for
were you-
series
does
and for
it-
acting.
Does it bum you out that you did not actually make it into that episode?
No, in retrospect, I actually feel better about it because the part that I auditioned for, I thought,
Oh, you were supposed to be on it?
do we not do shows around then?
I never heard this before. I never heard you were about to be in Atlanta.
We've never talked about it on One Ep.
Do you guys know each other?
Wow, it is possible like that was a period where like we weren't doing that many shows. So, okay.
Listen, you're not a weekly podcast. You can
No,
do
exactly.
whatever
You
want.
guys are just a podcast.
Yeah.
We're just a podcast. It's kind of a good. I kind of like that. We're just a podcast. And you know why I love the We're Just a Podcast now more than anything? Because for the first time
Here it comes.
in life,
Yeah.
I finally do feel like completely removed from the race of podcasts. Like it took a long time. I'm competitive and that stuff's hard for me. But you and I got to a point where this became whatever it was. And I watched other people like go like really fighting for podcast numbers.
You're talking about us?
Yeah. The people who are always trying to take shots, you guys.
Yeah.
No, where I really did finally get to a point where I was like, I'm happy for other podcasts to do well. I don't care anymore. And that took a long time. So I like We're Just a Podcast. Anyways, but so
By the way, Eric and I, our podcast is not just a podcast; it's a lifestyle.
yeah. Well, it's not just a podcast. It's not just a weekly podcast.
No, sometimes it's daily.
And sometimes it's daily.
Yeah.
We'll get to that either because that was. Let's be honest, you did too many podcasts.
Oh, it was too much.
In retrospect, when
Way
I saw
too
you guys,
much.
I was like, wow, 1, 2, 3. I was like, I don't even think
We announced that it was 12 at the beginning.
still. It just sounds like a number, but then when you see it, you go, wow, there's more podcasts.
By the way, yours was the most listened to of those podcasts.
I thought it wasn't. I thought when the rankings, the last time you posted rankings, I was like,
No,
the-
you
No,
did
of
the
the-
most. Jeff put the rankings up of the whole year.
Yeah, so you are number 4 of the year right now.
That's pretty good.
No, it's great.
Considering who the fuck cares what I have to say. You can already hear me on a bi-weekly or tri-weekly basis on this podcast.
That's right.
Talk about it.
So, anyway, Ciph, I had known about the show for a long time and would hear about the process and what they were doing. And then Donald or Fam, one of them hit me and was like, hey, we have a thing we want you to do. And I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you. That's amazing. They said, all right, here's the script. It's actually happening soon. It's like you'd have to audition in a few weeks. He's like, sorry, you got to audition, though, but like we want you to audition for it. We think it's good for you. I was like, okay. Send me the script. I read the script of the pilot episode. It's the same one that aired. And I read it out loud to Alexa, and we're just like, well, this show is... I was like, well, I'm like, Alexa, I'm going to be sitting at the Golden Globes. Like, this is going to... I know what this is already. I understood how much people love Donald, and you just read the script, and I was like, this is...
Pilot episode?
Yeah, the pilot one where it starts all crazy with the shooting at the beginning, and then it goes backwards, and I'm like, yo, and then like I was like, wow, I see where he's going with this, and I knew it was just the tip of the iceberg. So I'm like, this is going to be amazing, even though it's not nearly the best episode, I don't think, but it's still I could tell. So read the script, gets to the part where it's a white DJ, and the DJ says the N-word. Do you remember that from the episode?
Yes. Nah, you could have did that.
So we
Guess who tried to.
But by the way, that's the shocking part about us not talking about it, is that you of all people would have strong feelings on how people would react to that.
Yeah, no way.
So
Guess who
big
tried.
debate. So big debate at work. I go to work. I tell Ebro and Shawnee, and I talk to Alexa about it. Big back and forth. I hit Fam right away, and I'm like, really, dude? I was like, you know how badly I want to do this, and you want to get me to say the N-word for the first time in my life? Fam's response was, that's why it's called acting. And I was like, I know, but dude, it's too close. But
And he was a radio DJ.
yeah, he's a radio DJ.
I know, in the episode.
Yeah.
The guy was a radio,
Did it give physical descriptions?
Yeah, was it
No,
like...
which is interesting, by the way, because they ended up going nowhere near me for what the character was
Right,
like.
yeah.
They went way more like white boy dude
Yeah.
than I am.
Right.
So, but after a discussion about it, I did it. I was like, I'm gonna try it. I said, I read it, and I was like, even though I know I could get crushed for it, and I'm like, dude, Charlemagne's gonna isolate the audio. He's gonna send it out to other people. I know what's gonna happen. I was like, but I have faith in what the show is and like what the point of the character is. And no, you're not wrong. Well, I want to hear your thoughts. You're not wrong. But I took the gamble because honestly, Ciph, I was like, I want to sit at the fucking Golden Globes table. I want to be a part of this fucking thing, and I was willing to potentially take the risk. And so I got an acting coach. I went in, auditioned. It was nerve-wracking, and
That's an N-word.
it was here. That was the N-word I was talking about. It was somewhere in the city. Yeah.
It's on tape.
Oh, see, I thought maybe
Wow.
you had to travel for it, which would have been like you on an airplane just like thinking about it.
I know.
Like,
I know.
oh,
I
yeah.
did not. I did not have to travel for it. And honestly, I definitely wouldn't have considered it if the people behind the show weren't people I trusted implicitly.
Well, what did Dip say?
Dip's a little too removed from my agent. Dipperstein's too removed from the culture. I think
an actor, 100%, no doubt about it. Go do it today.
Yeah,
but it's not just that.
No, it's playing.
Yeah,
on a show that feels realistic.
Very close.
Would you have worn like a wig or something?
That would have helped.
Yeah,
probably
See,
not.
Then
I would have been a. So So I go in, I audition, I don't hear anything, like a month passes or something, and then I run into Fam and Donald in London at whatchamacallit, the big festival there, Wireless.
Mm-hmm.
And Fam's like, he just comes up to me and he's like, yo, bro. He said something, he made it really nice. I forget, he was like,
it's another N-word.
He was like, you were too adorable for the part. He was like, we didn't believe you. Like, you're just not the guy who would say that. And it didn't come across that it was you. And he was like, sorry. Well, he was like, one day the show will keep going, and maybe the characters will get to a point where they visit the real you on the show and come to your radio show. And you can be you instead of trying to be a version of you he's like, it's just not right.
Would you, as you on the show, then say the N-word?
Yeah. So like, here's the weird part. We want you to just be you. Do everything you would do except this one thing.
Right.
Well, that was the interesting thing, though. The part, you could argue it was a white hip-hop DJ. In theory, me.
Yeah.
Except the thing that makes it different is what makes me not like a completely different person.
Right.
By the way, the character's also trying to get money for music. So it's two things that are literally the opposite of who I am. The guy says the N-word, and he's trying to get paid by Paperboy on the show.
How did you try and get into the mindset?
You know what's funny? I know it sounds silly, but I spent the whole week practicing. And Cipha, I'm sure you've done this now because you've auditioned for acting stuff, right? So I spent like the whole days memorizing it. And then I realized after days, I'm like, all I'm doing is regurgitating it memorized. I haven't acted yet. I haven't tried to like get into a actual character. And then I spent like literally only the last 24 hours trying to like act like who I thought this person was. And then on top of that, then you go sit in a room with just this one person and a camera. It's the worst.
Were there any other like dudes who looked like you sitting in like the lobby, and you're like, oh no,
like they're all in character and they all the college like turned up.
Yeah, there wasn't anyone else there. But, it's funny.
Like a visor.
I'll tell you guys off the air though. They told me about a couple other people who did audition.
Wow.
And they were like, some of them seemed really comfortable saying the N-word.
Wow.
But anyways, that character wouldn't have been. He didn't last.
Right.
That character means nothing
in the scheme of the show.
And you're right, Charlamagne would have fucking
100%.
And that shit would have been because look, the show would have aired. You say the N-word, right? They chop that piece up. Burn it down to the ground for 3 weeks before you get the flow of the show. But by then you're already in a coffin,
right?
Laid underground. Then the whole vibe of the show finally gets understood. And it wouldn't have mattered.
I wouldn't be on the show anymore. I'm already in the coffin. You're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, you're already gone.
I would have never, it just would have been like, Rosenberg, yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
People would have said I knew it.
You would have never been in the source ever again.
Yeah.
So.
I went to the screening of that show.
Oh, I remember that.
And Angela Yee was hosting.
Hey, you know what? We were not invited to that, so there you go.
So there you go. How do you get invited to events that people want to go to?
Yeah.
No, and by the way, I forgot about that. How did Angela Yee end up hosting the Atlanta screening?
Oh, you should run into Fam over in London
I
again.
think she's cool with them.
No, I know, but I don't even remember hearing about this. I mean, I did hear about it, but
You're probably associated with us.
Museum of TV and Radio.
yeah, I remember you going. I remember seeing it on your like Snap or something.
Yeah,
I was gone. I don't remember where I was.
So imagine you're on the screen as they play the first episode, and Angela Yee's there, like, so she knows it's coming when the show airs. Like, she wouldn't say anything then on the radio, but when the show airs, like, she already has the shit ready.
Oh my God.
Well, listen. If you were to ask Angela, she would tell you that she never has and never would care to do anything like that to me. She would say. I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm saying that's what she would say.
Yeah, but no, what do you mean?
That's
She wouldn't do it, but she would.
But she would. Right, sure. But she might not have said anything. She might have just watched it play out. And then it would have been like this. I've been obsessed with this all week, Ciph. This would have been my me.
You just found that?
I just, for some reason, this week, I can't say what it was, but something happened this week, and for some reason, when this thing happened, I could not get that out of my head. And now, anytime anyone says anything related to anything like bad at all,
Yeah, do it again.
Phone, you have to go to YouTube for it.
yeah, that is
You're really
bad.
just playing it off YouTube.
Put it on your phone, man. Make an MP3. Stop being a bitch.
Well, it's in the system at work. You know
Meanwhile,
what I have to do? You like this? Yo, Shawnee. And you have to put it in queue and hit it every time. Into the room. All right, hey, so February 23rd,
Yes.
you guys are going to be at SOB's.
yeah, we're rapping.
We're rapping.
Doing a rap concert.
We are.
Yeah.
We're putting out a new mixtape, a new project called Teddy Bear Fresh. A lot of features on there.
Can you let's talk about the rap
Sure.
career?
Yeah.
I have not been to one of your live shows.
Correct.
Rude.
I know. I missed the
You've
last
been
one.
invited.
Actually, no. You know what? Yeah, you missed us at Bonnaroo. You went.
Well,
You went the year
I
after.
went the year after.
You missed us at the Yolono tour, which was at the Gansevoort.
But honestly, like, I don't even want you to show up because I don't want white guys who say the N-word in the
No,
audience.
you know what? That's a really good point.
That's not the kind of crowd you want. Yeah, by the way, the first few times when I was practicing that, it was so awkward. By myself.
In the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't get that
I had
out
to
of your head.
I had to and say it in front of Alexa, and she was like, it was horrible. Thanks a lot, fam. And Donald. It's such a weird. No.
Say it every day.
I know. It's such an American. It's such a phenomenon you could never explain to someone who's like. Anyways, so why the rap? Why the rapping? What do you see? Because
Who are you?
what the fuck is going on?
Say it every day.
I know. It's such an American. It's such a phenomenon you could never explain to someone who's like. Anyways, so why the rap? Why the rapping? What do you see? Because
Who are you?
what the fuck is going on? Because no, I'm going to tell you the truth about it. I'm going to tell you the truth about It's the Real.
Mm-hmm.
They mask. Okay, for example, when I rap on Hot 97, it's. I won't say it's intentionally bad. I try to do well, but it's clearly an overt joke. It's the Real are masking joke rap to actually deep down. We've never discussed this, but I just know it. Deep down into a serious, almost serious rap career. Because there are moments of you guys rapping that's just like pretty proficient rapping. That honestly, if there's a problem with it, it's not funny enough. It's just kind of good rap. And I'm like, that line's not funny. It was just kind of really pretty good.
You know what? We definitely didn't want to do the same thing as Lonely Island or Weird Al or Lil Dicky or like anyone before or after. It was just sort of like we wanted to do our own thing, and we wanted stuff with replay value. We wanted it to sound good and also have smart jokes in there. And if there's one thing that we've done over the course of our careers, I think it's sort of like speak on what goes on in the hip hop business. Some would say it's very insidery. Some would say maybe it's not very funny, or some would say
sometimes super inside, sometimes not as inside.
Yeah. But I think
regular.
But I think it does speak to the audience that we've grown over this decade.
Yes.
And I believe that it separates itself because it's smart, funny, different rap. And
Yeah, our rhymes are made for Genius.com.
Yeah.
Genius.com, sponsor of Juan Epstein.
Yeah.
So we put out a mixtape in 2013 called Urbane Outfitters. We had Bun B on there and a song called Girls with the Dirty Souths. We had Mano, Lil Jon, Freeway, Hannibal Buress was on there. And that got us, on the front page of the New York Times art section. We went to, be interviewed by you guys at Hot 97. We were on Sway. We performed at Bonnaroo.
Yeah, I mean, it took us places that the videos had not previously.
Right, but what's cool about our stuff is that, no one else was doing that type of thing. No one else got Bun B, a Southern legend, to put his career on the line and rap about, girls.
Pubic options.
Yeah, unshaven choices.
That is a very good point. I never had considered that even being an option previous to that happened.
We've really broadened the scope of hip-hop, I think.
That's right, yeah.
You really, because that's not even something I was thinking about. And now it's almost, I kind of started its own genre.
Yeah.
Of pubic rap.
And then we did things. And by the way, we wanted the videos to be like on the same level as the music. So for that song with Bun B, we went down to Houston and shot this video where it was Jeff, myself, and Bun as the 3 world's worst landscapers because we salute those women who let the bush grow.
Right.
So very heady, silly stuff that we can't share with our mother, right?
Right.
And we put out a song called Jews for Jesus Piece. Anyway, a few other songs. We have this new mixtape coming out right around February 23rd when we'll be performing at SOBs. And it's called Teddy Bear Fresh, and it has a lot of real...
Yeah, it has songs like Girl, Your Ass is Like a Metaphor. It has songs like Fire in a Crowded Room, Get the Hose.
Right.
There's a bunch of good songs.
Yeah. The first single off it was called Dave Matthews Bands. And so for that, we ran around the city and handed out everybody...
we gave like $10,000 of payola.
Yes.
A fake. It wasn't real.
Yes, it is all
it was fake. Fake wink.
Yeah. The best thing is
fake wink $10,000.
The best thing is when like employees of radio stations like your own would hit us up and be like, I wish this was real money. And it was like, well, no, then the joke doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not good for your career and the whole thing. So.
Wow, you really just implicated people in that. Yo, this is fake. This fake 10,000 is funny. You know, it'd be even funnier if it was real. It's like, no. Yeah. I don't know why you wasted fake 10,000. You could have done it for a real 500.
How much did you pay? It was fake money. You just gave me that.
How much was that much fake money?
Well, we had gotten it for the video. And so they ended up... You can tell the story better than I can.
Well, so we went to a real movie prop house in Florida, and they sent us $1 million of fake money. So it cost something like $400 or $500.
It was $450.
$450.
Split the difference.
Yeah, $450. And
that's hilarious, by the way.
So
think about that you spent $450 on fake money.
So we have a company, right? We have a company. It's crazy to think.
We're ItsTheReal.com.
Yes,
right.
We have Inc. And we have we have an accountant, and he handles all of our finances. So our company credit card, which we order our business stuff off of, goes to our accountant. So we had to hit up our accountant and be like, hey, we're buying all this fake money, and they will only send it to where we get billed, which is you guys. So you should expect a package to our real accountant of $1 million of fake money. And he's like, cool, gotcha. So it comes in, this package. I was like, oh, this is a little smaller, lighter than I thought, but all right. We go and we shoot this music video with all this fake money, and then the following Monday we get a call, and our accountant's like, hey, you got another package equal size. I was like, oh, well, we just made $500,000 look like $1 million. In any event, the way it worked was you could buy like all the bills put together, and their back, front, the whole thing looks identical to real money. Or if you want the cheaper version, because you're not going to look inside the whole thing, you get the top printed and aged, and the bottom printed and aged, and that's what we did.
No, but then they age the sides.
And they age the sides too. So
right, and then the middle's just nothing.
It's
Correct.
just paper.
But if you put it in a baggie that says payola, it looks so real.
Yeah.
And top to bottom, it looks like a big band of cash.
That's right.
So like, we handed out to a bunch of our friends, record labels, at radio stations, just anywhere. And handed it out, and all of these people start telling us that like Ed Sheeran stops by and is like, "Wait, what? Why is there $10,000 on your desk?"
Payola at this record label.
Yeah, like everybody who leaves in their office, and all these people are stopping by and be like, $10,000. What the fuck?
Yeah, and I do like how you played it, Peter, which was you're like, look, I don't want to even go near any type of like trouble visually, whatever. So I will make it look like you guys are idiots trying to do this, and it worked out great.
Oh, yeah. My thing was like, yeah, I can't believe you guys, the people actually still do this.
Right,
yeah,
that we would go to your
like
apartment to drop off money.
Right.
By the way, I did see that Soulja Boy had fake money, and the sides were not aged.
Oh.
And so it was like...
Was it intentionally fake money?
No. No, he was doing one of his videos being like
being Big Soldier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the greatest. I'm glad you found it now. Doesn't matter that you're late. It's great.
Do you get the reference, or you just think it's a trombone?
This?
Yeah.
Well, I had to search The Price is Right.
Wait, do it again.
So sad.
Yeah.
What's your stop playing over here. What's your
Shawnee.
Shawnee, take that out of queue.
By the way,
What's
I
your
have all the hotkeys here for ESPN, so I
Wow.
can play like Derrick Rose, how they slowed Boston down.
Wow.
Yeah, well, don't do that because I think it could end up playing on the air, whatever show's happening right now. It wouldn't play on this.
I hope
sure.
we're on the air
Oh.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm 100% not touching anything.
What is your favorite like concept that you guys came up with? Because Dave Matthews Bands was now I will say that's not inside. It is a narrow audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In terms of the appreciation of both.
Yeah. So the chorus of Dave Matthews Band.
And by the way, we made it our single.
Yeah. No,
Exactly.
yeah. First, it's a street single.
Yeah, it was just to warm things up.
Yeah. For Fire in a Crowded Room, Get the Hose. We're counting white faces. We got Dave Matthews Bands, right? Very niche and.
But then we have songs like.
And by the way,
Bands will make them dance, and Nancy's is even more.
Thank you. Yeah. And the best part of this whole thing is when it got to Dave Matthews Band message boards and all those people could not figure out. It's like split 50-50. People who really think it's great and people who are so confused and think like rap is the devil and don't even impede.
How many people got it? That it was just like
I think the majority.
I mean, the people in those places though.
Oh, over there, like 50-50.
Yeah, it was really
was
split.
In fact, it was so crazy. First of all, I didn't even know that these message boards existed before.
You mean message boards generally, or Dave Matthews?
Dave Matthews
boards?
Band
Okay.
specific.
Antsmarching.org.
Yeah, and so this one person who posted was like, "I know them. They're my friends of friends," and she's like, and all I can say is, "Yeah."
Did you figure out who that was?
Yes.
Oh wow. Oh,
Who
very
was it?
awkward.
This girl, Katie Chen, who is not listening to this because she listens to only Dave Matthews.
Oh.
Is that really true?
Yeah.
I don't know who she is.
Big Dave Matthews fan.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Well, so what's your favorite one though?
My-
When the idea came, even it could have been one that you didn't even get done because by the time you wrote it, it was like, the song's not as good as the idea was. You know what I mean? But the idea, you're like, this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Is there one that we
Well,
didn't
there's
do?
one that we didn't do where we with Phil Collins.
Right.
I forget what exactly. Oh, it was the whole concept was being best friends with Phil Collins. And then what happened was that when we reached out and we went through Atlantic to try to get him, the next day. And by the way, bless you. Craig Kalman, the head of Atlantic Records, was like, "I'll pass this along. Sounds great."
Because everybody likes us.
And we're like,
That's right.
We're like, this is going to be amazing. We're going to get Phil Collins, who lives in the Swiss Alps, to like get on this song, and it's going to be unbelievable and bigger than ever.
And then the next day,
In
Rolling Stone
yeah.
put out an article cover story of him being like, "I'm never doing music again. I hate my life. My kids hate me. I'm going to kill myself." So imagine him getting this email of like, "Hey, Phil Collins is my best friend." He's just like, "I'm gonna kill myself."
Hey, we know things aren't. Hey, Phil, we know we read you aren't that happy these days. Things aren't going that well, but there are these idiots in America.
Yeah.
They want to do a song about pretending to be your best friend.
That's right.
It's don't worry. It's a mock song. They don't really want to be your best friend.
Right. Yeah. Imagine like how Bun felt getting on a song with us times a million.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the ultimate dream collaboration for this kind of thing?
2 Chainz,
Yeah.
I think. He's somebody who has a great sense of humor and
could totally do it.
You know, and also is one of those guys who is past the point of taking himself so seriously, right? There are kids who take themselves so seriously at like their early 20s, but like he's somebody who doesn't have to worry about his career. He's 2 Chainz, right?
Wait, just before we go on too much further, I just want to say the reason that Ciph isn't chiming in right now is because Ciph left like a while ago. In case people were like,
Yeah, Ciph doesn't agree with anything.
Ciph, for the record, has... Yeah, that would be funny, though. It's just like, wow, Ciph really...
really tuned out.
Well, I don't know what's worse.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know.
What's worse, him checking out in the room or literally being like, all right. Ciph is one of the only people I know who recording things, including like a podcast, well, that's probably the only thing I'm referring to, is not rationale to not answer your phone. Like, the only thing that I would probably answer my phone right now was if a loved one called repeatedly.
Right.
Like, even right now where I'm in, like, a new business situation with WWE, if I saw a call from WWE right now while recording, I feel like, things are going well enough. I could probably let it go to voicemail and call someone back. I wouldn't be like, oh my, I've never talked to them before. So short of that, like maybe if I never heard from them ever, I'd be like, guys, I got to take this right now.
Right.
Ciph, I wonder. I have no idea.
Do you think WWE is calling him?
No, I bet it's...
That would be...
I'm willing to put money on Ciph got a call saying that he won a free cruise.
and it was just you mean it was random numbers?
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
and he completely walked out.
I think that he went to go get those that dark chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the dark chocolate almonds that you need quarters for the machine for.
Sure, why not?
So he went to Bank of America to get some quarters.
Well,
Unfortunately,
let's be honest.
after
Ciph is
6 o'clock.
only lightly interested in you guys. He really wants to talk about jury duty.
No, listen.
I do want to hear about jury duty.
Yeah, but let's wait until Ciph comes
No,
back.
no, of course I'm not.
About
How about if he came back and I was like, I already talked about jury duty, he'd be super upset. So what is the ultimate goal with the rap part, or is there no goal with that?
To go platinum.
to go platinum and get like legitimate respect and like kind of challenge Kendrick or J. Cole.
Yeah. No. Oh, I want to be on an Australian stage.
That's right. No, you know what? You know what the ultimate goal is to have it be a legitimate part of our career, which it is, but we want it to be bigger than this, right?
I honestly have no dreams of the rap career outside of doing the SOB show. Like
being serious or no?
Like seriously, just being like that would just make my life. Like just do that. I mean, like we can do some more stuff, but I mean, like the most meaningful thing would be like to be on the SOB stage and like do what we plan on doing.
It really is amazing considering 10 years ago going to shows that you were hosting at SOBs and we were just going in there hoping to get in and watching some amazing people on stage, whether it is J. Cole or 2 Chainz
or Drake
yeah, or any of the
or many people much worse. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's something for us to in the course of 10 years build something up where we can actually sell tickets to our fans who appreciate our work to see us tell stories and rap. And
so how much of the show is stories versus rap?
I'd say it's probably 60-40.
That much?
Rap, yeah.
I would say it's more rap than stories.
Yeah, okay, well, that is 60%.
No, I mean, like,
yeah.
I'm saying like 70-30 or something like that.
We're still working on the live show.
Okay. By the way, the show's a mess right now.
Yeah, oh my God.
Don't remember a lot of time.
Actually, want to know what the greatest thing
do.
is? The greatest thing so far, because we have a lot of announcements to make, but not tonight, but the first one that we're announcing is that Just Blaze is our DJ that night, which is the greatest thing also. There's a lot of greatest things here.
It was going to be you, but you say the N-word.
You got to stop making that joke. People are going to start believing. Like, I only heard one part of the podcast. I just skipped around, and I learned something. So weird accusation.
That's right.
So unseemly.
So hold on. So do you guys have then mixed expectations of it? Because listening to you, Eric sounds like he does kind of want it to be like a more serious part of your career, whereas you sound like it's like sure, but it's absurd and fun, and I just whatever we get from it, we get.
Well, first of all, it should be said like in terms of anything that we do, I don't have like huge dreams where I'm like, oh, well, you want to know what? I want to be on that Golden Globe stage. Like I can't see further than my own nose, like that sort of thing.
Is that because you have a big Jewish nose?
Big Jewish nose.
First of all, my nose is not that big. But I do think that Eric is the more optimistic one. I'm the more cynical one just in general. So it's not me like just being like, oh, well, I don't think that the music thing's going to work out. It's like, I don't think that life is going to work out.
Exactly. Okay. So it's not. So why have expectations for that
or anything?
But I think it's a cool thing that we look, if you looked at any of our career, it's mind-blowing to us. We have a podcast where people come over to our apartment, and a friend of ours, Matt Miggs, was over taking photographs for our podcast, and he went to the bathroom and came back, and he was just like, you know how many famous people have used your bathroom? And we're like, I guess. It's a sort of a weird metric, but yes.
That's true.
That is
awesome
pretty
guests
cool.
have been here and done.
And so, like, if you just say that's wild to me. Like, we never got into this business and thought, yes, we're going to have long, meaningful, funny conversations with, all these amazing musicians. Also, we never thought we would be on the SOB's stage putting our craft out there live for people who would, support us and bring out amazing guests and have an amazing DJ and headline. I mean, it's mind-blowing. So I think, like, yes, I am the more optimistic one and hope to build this into more of a thing because I enjoy the art of it and I enjoy making
all right, but
funny,
someone says tomorrow, like, all right, I have the key to your success, but it's going to be one thing,
and that's just rapping.
No.
Oh.
It's your choice.
Oh.
And this is what it's going to be.
And by the way, I should before we go into that, which I do think is an interesting question.
Well, I'm a great journalist.
That's right.
I laugh because it's funny. I should say that obviously we do have bigger plans for music than just that show. Like, I'm looking into going to Vancouver and all these other things, and there are plans to go to other places and do other things.
Right, do other shows.
So you want to answer Peter's question?
If we were to only do one thing,
he felt bad that he undersold the music.
That's right.
He had to
Yeah.
double
No,
back with
totally.
Jewish
Totally.
Guild.
Yeah.
Well, are you saying of all the things we've done, podcasts, music,
sketches,
Yes.
television, the short MTV interviews?
Sure, yeah, exactly. Like what's the ultimate thing you want to do? Because by the way, I get asked this question literally every day, and
but it's such a weird not 2017 question though, right? Because it's like in this day and age, like you don't have to do just one thing. So
or in fact, it's the opposite.
I just saw Ciph walk by.
Like he's just not coming back.
Oh, there he is.
I will answer since you won't.
Well, no, and I was going to say,
I'm not dodging the question.
and I could argue it's not necessarily a matter of you don't have that's so not 2017 because you don't have to do things. More the flip side, which sort of annoys me to some extent, which is you have to do many things.
Right.
I mean, pretty much.
So-
unless you're like an A-list musician or something,
Or if
actor.
you work at IBM.
Yeah, sure.
So-
That too. Yeah,
So-
or work at Staples for that matter.
Yeah.
I
Staples, a proud sponsor of this podcast.
I would say that the way we operate, and I think it's similar to the way you operate too, is that like we try to incorporate all of our things into
One another.
So the music isn't by itself. The music could be part of the podcast, could be part of the TV show, could be part of the live show, could be part of the whatever else we end up doing. It's sort of like all supposed to live in the same universe and work hand in hand. That's what the hope
but
is.
anyway, so what would you like to do if you were to only do one thing?
That's right.
I suppose that the TV thing.
Yeah, I said.
Yeah,
no.
I would say-
I
I
do this with Ciph too. Don't worry. This is what I do to people.
I would say TV.
I think the TV aspect incorporates everything else, and they can play smaller roles in that bigger thing.
So like a Rosenthal's led sketch driven or series. Yeah, we're talking more Key and Peele or more just straight series.
Well, okay.
I guess series ends up. If you're anything like me, it feels very lofty to be like, oh, we want to just being like I want to star in a sitcom or our own sitcom can sound like a lofty thing to project.
Right.
But still, whatever that may be.
Well,
that being said, we sold a TV
yeah,
show.
I mean, we sold the scripted TV show that we're writing, starring, and executive producing that is in development right now. So like that ultimately is the goal, like a scripted show.
Anything different than what Donald Glover did?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
he made
yeah.
funny videos when he was at NYU. He did comedy. You know what I'm saying? And Donald Glover's my.
No, you know what though? You know what
amazing.
Donald didn't do? He didn't make fun of us. So
Right. Exactly.
that's how we're different.
So you
By the
would
way,
say
Ciph is back.
Ciph's here, guys. So you would say scripted. So scripted series would be your number one choice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to sketch stuff. We're open to.
I just like to know what people are trying to do.
You do 8 things.
But I don't like that. I
I
like
wanna
it to
work-
a degree, but when people ask me what is it you don't want to do, and I hesitate, I see it as a failure. I'm like, oof, I needed to have an answer to tell that person. I sat down with someone super powerful last week, and it's like, so what do you want to do?
Talk
and
about
I
it.
really didn't have a set thing. I was kind of like, well, I could do this, I could do that, and I was like, that's whack. You gotta, if someone hits you, I'm talking about someone with money
Right.
and power, is like, what do you want to do? I think, and I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
I think it's good to be like, I want to do this,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the fucking best thing ever.
And by the way,
You're
well,
talking to, though.
Yeah, well,
The answer's not the same every time.
maybe not, but we should have one in the chamber,
yeah.
Yeah.
Depending
Well,
on what that guy is
capable of. But if that person is capable of just like general Hollywood entertainment
Yeah.
things, and he says, "What do you want to do?" The
I
person
want
met
to
with
be
was a
part
producer.
of the Jewish complex that runs media.
Right. I
Yeah.
want to be Illuminati.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Jew
correct,
kind.
yeah.
I want to be part of the Jew Illuminati. Not the there's other kinds. Yeah. There's different. I think there's different Illuminatis. I want to be part of the Jew one. Ciph, don't worry. We did not cover jury duty without you. Now, when I said earlier that I went to jury duty,
Yeah.
you had a reply, and it seems like one of you guys echoed it as well, which was that You were excited and jealous.
Yeah, I definitely want to be on a jury.
So you never got jury duty?
No, because I never registered to vote.
The truth comes out. Bum, 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 bum.
I know.
That's a good thing.
No,
Well,
you
no.
are the reason, once again,
That
that
Donald
Trump
Trump's
is, yeah.
No, I live in New York.
And
Yeah,
and
why do you
furthermore,
think that
can't-
Trump
no,
won
but even
New
the
York?
horn is at least true because you can't be on jury.
Yes, correct.
You're the reason why Trump didn't go to jail. How about that?
Yeah.
So
It could have been 3,000,001 votes that Hillary got.
and it had
more
one
than
by
Hillary.
exactly.
Yeah.
And have you guys done jury duty?
Yes. Okay, so I was about to, and then they were like, "Oh no, actually, you want to know what? We settled."
I got called down. We were in the middle of doing a lot of work at the time, and I got called down in the middle of it. And listen, I do believe in civic duty, and I do believe that you should do it. And one day, I'm willing to do it. At that time, I needed to get out of it, and I did say, because I was like, oh well, I can't say we're writing the script. I can't say that we're doing this performance. I can't say we're doing this or this. I was like, I'm a podcaster, and that is my profession, and I need to talk about my everyday, and I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut about this case. And they were like,
Oh, that's
goodbye.
right. That's it. That's how you do it. So it's funny though, Ciph, you would have been a stand-up today.
You were on the jury.
No, but I had jury duty, and
Went to the.
I got selected at the end of the day. I sat around for 6 hours.
Can you be on your phone?
While you're waiting, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, but
All day anyway.
no, you have to
People.
No.
pay attention to the case. What are you talking about?
No. Today,
this is-
while waiting.
Oh.
Yeah, to be called.
So I waited. No, that part wasn't bad actually. I fell asleep. I leaned on the wall and slept and woke up drooling on the wall. Then I got up, looked at my phone more, went out to lunch. There's nothing around there.
Where is it? Like
Center Street, nothing. So I walked for like 5 minutes until I found just a random Indian lunch spot where they had like their lunch special. And I sat down and got a table by myself and ate a fucking delectable Indian meal by myself. It was just fantastic.
So jury duty sounds great.
Yeah. Went back, and then the deal is you either are going to get called for a panel, and then they're going to decide whether they want you, or no one's going to call you at all day, and if no one calls you all day, you're also dismissed because your job is just for that day. So I waited all day, and at 2:55, when I'm an hour from being done, they call me, and I go in and sat, and I knew I was going to tell them that I was media, and when you tell them you're media, you basically are out. And so I,
Get to that point. So it's better if they call you at 10 a.m. You say I'm media and you walk away
but sometimes that happens. They don't release you still to the end of the day,
to the next one.
or you just sit and wait. Yeah, maybe they could put you in another one, or you just wait. Yo, how about this? After I did it, I get out 3:00 or 3:15. I go to wait till 4 when they release everyone. They did one more jury at like 3:45. She was like, "Sorry, I know, guys, you thought you were out. I have to do one more." Not kidding. She was like, "Peter Rosen." And I was like, "What?" And it was someone else.
Wow.
oh my God.
I thought I was going back. But yeah, I told the guys that I'd like, and then they're like, and if anyone has a special reason why they can't, be a part of this case, come tell us and we can speak privately. Everyone's like starting to raise their hand. I'm like, look at all these liars.
Oh my God.
You're all lying to get out of this. And I sat there for like 5 minutes while other people were doing it. And then I was like, why am I not raising my hand? I got to get out of here.
I would raise my hand and be like, I would love to be on a jury. Get that wacko out of
Yeah.
here.
No.
Crazy.
To sit next to
I did
some of
enjoy the little parts, though, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah.
Eric. I did enjoy, I will tell you, up until I'd been then waiting again, and I knew I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this anyway. I did enjoy them explaining everything. I enjoyed the lawyers walking in and telling the cases. I enjoyed the ridiculous early 90s video they showed
Oh
us
my
about
God.
what you're supposed to do. Like, I did. No, there were things that were for sure fun about it, and you would definitely like it. Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, like, piggybacking off of, like, hearing the other people say their, like, excuses to get out of it, they're all such stretches. They're just like, I have a cousin who, like, went to law school or whatever. Like, they'll just think of
It's a
whatever they
reach.
can.
I know, and that's why I was
Watch
annoyed.
the people first
That's
all
right,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw enough.
when I went down there, they were like, "All right, so Jeff Rosenthal, what do you do?" And I'm like, I'm a hip hop sketch comedian, and like being like, ItsTheReal.com, everybody like pay attention to me or whatever. And they were like immediately, yes, you are going to be selected for the jury. Like, you sit here. And I was like, oh no.
By the way, of course, they were like, they're like, what are you? Like, I'm a hip hop sketch comedian. They're like, all right, he doesn't have a job. He's available to
Yeah.
do whatever we need. So
But everybody wants to get out of jury duty until you get fucking put on trial.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Fucking
And then you want a good jury.
jury, like,
No, but you do get all the crazy people who are like available.
Who's willing to suspend their life for if it's a real serious trial?
Right.
It could be a few months. Like this one was about, I won't say what it was, but it was like about a city-related thing, right? So like I understood that whoever the defendant was, if it was something related to New York City, would not want someone who's a public personality hearing whatever the accusations were. But who wants to? If you have a job and a career, it's hard.
Oh my God!
Unless you work for the government or like you're a teacher and you know they're not going to take your job,
right?
Because you work for the government in some way. All right, guys, let's check in with Michael Moore down at Trump Tower.
Me. And when they think like that, that's when they break the law.
Yeah.
And that's when he'll go down.
This is not Michael Moore. This is actually a fat lesbian. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Michael Moore. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're having a rally.
in front.
Some reporter was just asking me, well, what's the point of all this? Because no matter how much bad news he creates or there is about him, it doesn't seem to affect him. I said, right, yes, that's right. He's not affected by the bad news when he talks about his sexually assaulting women. He's not affected by the bad news that comes out of him calling Mexicans rapists and murderers. That's right. He's not affected by that. What's he affected by? He's affected by comedy.
Saturday Night Live. I knew that.
Yeah,
I wanted to go
yeah.
there.
He has the thinnest skin of any bully I've ever met.
Yes, Dragon Michael.
If you make fun of him, if you ridicule him, or if you just show that he's not popular, I remember the night after the election.
Real quick.
No Trump fans are watching this.
No, by the way, wait, here's the thing. I'm enjoying this. I like hearing people say bad things about Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an effective measure at all?
No.
What's the point of this?
I hate all the people who now are flipping, who now are realizing they're like, well, I watched 60 Minutes, and like I saw on there that he's not a trustworthy person because he flipped on the whole lock her up thing. And it was like, that is what made you realize that he's not an honest or good person?
Right.
It's
but I get really frustrated with, I am all for being, I'm not saying that everyone has to, I spent 48 hours, I think I may have told you this on your podcast, one of the most popular of the year, by the way, just like Donald Trump would say. It was huge, it was incredibly popular.
Big
they
league.
told me it was big league. It was the most popular podcast they did. They did 12 podcasts. Mine was the #1 podcast. But I spent 24 hours or so being like, you know what? He won. This is terrible. Maybe he'll end up being better than we expected, and he's our president. I'm not gonna be someone who says he's not. This is the system I signed up for. Ciph, listen, people can knock someone like Ciph for not voting. Ciph doesn't subscribe to the system. So for him to
respect the presidency.
that's fine, but you don't subscribe. You're not going to say he's not the president.
No.
You knew the system was bullshit before he ran and won. So Ciph, people like Ciph and Johnny Culture, that's fine. Me and probably you guys, whether we had problems with it or not, we've always subscribed to the system.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to turn around now and say, not my president.
No.
No. Very much your president.
Yeah.
Very much your president. Now, do I think there may have been interference and like shady things that happened? Yes.
Yeah.
However, not enough. It wouldn't have been enough interference if he'd gotten like 12 million votes. He definitely got like close to enough votes. You know what I'm saying? Like if the Russians did something and they swayed with fake news to do these things to influence people, I believe that, and it's fucking terrifying, and the implications of that are scary. That said, with none of that, and with all the scandals that came out, a huge portion of our country was still voting for him no matter what.
What scandals?
Right, because that's because
Grabbing pussy?
yeah.
They like
Oh, that?
It's not a scandal. Trump fans are in a bar right now saying shit like that. They're saying shit like that, and when he said, they're like, that's my man. That's my man.
Ciph has always said this, and what have you always said, Ciph? You never called them Trump voters.
Trump fans.
He only calls them Trump fans. Because that's what it is.
Now I call
It's
them
fans.
supporters. I
It's
call
not.
them Trump fans.
It's a very.
Don't you miss George Bush right now, man?
Oh my God, my boy!
George Bush is killing it.
Shout out to my boy Matt Cronin, who put up a great post of George Bush Jr. It's a picture of him waving, looking kind of crazy. You saw it?
Yeah.
And the meme's like, when all of a sudden your crazy ex looks more appealing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You like? I'll send it to you. You like that?
Oh, I love it.
It's like, by the way, I saw the picture, and no joke, it's so insane. I used to go so hard on George Bush on the radio, and I saw the picture of him today, and I was like, you know what? It wouldn't be that bad.
Right.
He respected the office.
He respected the office at least.
Yeah.
It wasn't a total. He might have even done a bump of coke one day in the office.
Well,
that's not that level of disrespect we're talking about right now.
Right.
There's going to be a pee-pee party in that office. I'm guaranteeing.
He sent all of our troops to the wrong country and started a war that still goes on today. But
But
besides
you
that,
know what?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
But that's what presidents do.
Presidents do.
Go to the wrong country?
Yes, all that.
Always.
No, but you know who didn't? Barack Obama.
Well, Barack
Obama is a fluke, bro.
No,
Yeah, that-
Fluke.
but it should have started a new precedent that we could have continued
all
to.
it did was ignite the old precedent, ignite it more.
listen to this man because he's telling you the truth. He tells you exactly what, like, generally other people like us, even though we have a similar view of the world, Ciph has a way of looking at things through the eyes. This is going to sound like the biggest insult. The eyes of morons. He is. Ciph is a moron. That's the name of the episode. Ciph is the moron whisperer. And it's true. It sent it the other way. Especially the fact that a black man is who did that. Oh, my God. It's all the more reason. How did we ever expect a woman was going to win after a black guy? We're nuts.
Never.
So what'd you do the night of and the night after?
Because I was in Canada. That's how committed
that's
he was.
very
to that
wise.
wedding.
Oh, you were gone.
Yeah.
I met the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Was he handsome?
Very handsome. His
Thought
mom's
so.
my friend.
Were you? Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
She's had all these events.
You fucked Trudeau's mom?
No. She's very nice.
Were you there on official business?
Yeah.
Wow.
Charity event. But no, listen, all that shit. I already knew he was gonna win. I knew it. Those people that voted for Trump have been made fun of by all of us for the last. I'm gonna give it a decent number for the last 50, 60 years.
What?
In movies, how much country bumpkin, redneck, fuck your sister shit can you
But that's
take?
not. Those aren't his only fans.
It's the core, though.
I'm not saying all
No.
No, but what put
I
them over the top
disagree.
were like white, educated women.
Put him over the top.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're the base. They were actually the fringe. They just would put him over the top.
Okay.
Educated white women
Yeah.
who voted for like 40% for him or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't. That's not his core.
And not
Those,
40% of his votes.
no.
40%
Of white women.
Of white women, yeah.
Those were people who just couldn't bring themselves to vote for Hillary Clinton either because they're self-hating sexists themselves,
Right.
or because
Some girl shit, yo.
The
or
last
they have,
name.
or they hate on other women, or they have husbands who are such Republicans that they didn't want to separate from their family, or. But I do think what Ciph's saying is, I know what you're saying too. Like, yeah, it's not all country bumpkins. You're also thinking logically, Jeff, and you're going, why would they vote? Why would country bumpkins vote for a piece of shit New York billionaire? What the fuck kind of Jedi mind shit is that? But it wasn't about that.
I wouldn't have said Jedi mind shit. I don't really like Star Wars.
Okay, got it.
I'm not saying his fans are country bumpkins. I'm saying everyone has been calling those people country bumpkins. There are country bumpkins out there who didn't even know there was an election. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about just Southern people, Midwestern people, the heart and soul of America just being ignored. But, they dealt with it. They dealt with Hollywood. They dealt with fucking all the bullshit that went on. And then a black man got in and they were like, but black man in a PC world where you fucking, they just felt constricted. They were just like, enough already. It was a unfortunate sequence of events that led to those people just going, fuck this.
And that's why even if some of
Losing
the
jobs to other countries, all the jokes about Indians answering customer service lines, jobs going to Mexico, factories, all that shit, they were just like, enough.
now,
Yeah.
even though it's been a myth, it's been a myth that for years that Democrats are to blame for those things.
Right.
When in fact the people who decide to vote for a Republican as if they're going to help jobs of the lower middle class. It is completely
like, job
bullshit.
creation
It is,
under
yeah, it's
Democratic
complete-
presidents is just like, absurdly high,
Right.
and
it's
then
complete
it goes
fabrication
down.
and bullshit. But they created that, and another thing that people have to remember if you ever get confused about race with regard to politics, is that after 1965, when voting rights happens, Southerners
The
who were
Voting Rights
all
Act,
Democrats, the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act, everything, including the Civil Rights Act, and that LBJ did. All those Southern Democrats went, nope, Republican. So even though they knew that the other policies did not benefit them at that time, the number one issue that drove them was getting on the other side of black people.
LBJ was
A Democrat, a Southern Democrat, a Texas Democrat who
Right.
was, by the way, a racist himself personally,
Yeah.
Right.
but believed in the principle of he was like, I don't personally like black people, but this doesn't make sense as a law. It doesn't make sense.
So that's what I want.
No, you want people who have who don't let their own personal beliefs get in the way of what.
The workings of America should be fair and equal for everyone. Now,
Right.
I hate black people. I'm a racist. I'm a Southern racist. I hate black people personally.
Right.
But it's not right what's happening.
You should have gotten the Atlanta job.
You sounded so natural saying that for a Puerto Rican.
That's the type of racist
Good
I
acting.
want. Like, be
Yeah.
racist. Because the thing is, I could talk straight up with a racist person and have some real discourse with them. You know what I'm saying? With those people that hide behind shit and
Right.
sneaky, can't fuck with them. Man.
Okay, my thing is that I thought there were more, not Republicans versus Democrats, but smart versus, like educated, smart people.
Oh, Eric, is this your first time in this country?
Than dumb. No, because I thought like more people ignorant.
Ignorant,
Because you know what? They fell for, Donald Trump can say all that stuff and he can appeal to them and he can be like, you know what? Yes, we're going to bring jobs back. No, you're not. Automation changes all of that. And
right, and
he's a
going
snake oil
to-
salesman and the people fell for
Getting
that.
tricked
Yeah.
is dumb.
That is dumb.
That is
Getting
dumb.
tricked is dumb. You should be smarter, and you should know how to not get tricked.
You want a simple solution. Why can't we build a wall? Because we're smart, us four in this room and people listening to Juan Epstein.
Yeah.
We understand the politics, money. People look at a map and be like, it's not that far from the bottom of Texas to go across to California.
Right,
You know
my
how
hand is bigger.
fucking far that is? You know how much wall that is? It's not an easy thing to do. State laws in between all those different states and shit, all the politics, all the bureaucracy. We understand that. But people just want a simple solution. Yeah, build a wall and fucking be ready to bomb some shit. And that's just the bravado of America.
That's the part that's the number one thing that scares me. And the number one reason that I would be happy with Trump. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What now?
Here it is. No, just go to the Washington Post.
It's
And
hard to believe.
I'll never forget it. I will never, just that picture.
He looks like
But I'll never forget this moment. I went to bed. I did the Complex show the night of the election.
Right.
When we left there at 11:30 midnight, we knew what it was.
Right.
But I get home and I went to bed, and it was a 98% chance that it was over.
yeah.
But obviously, you still have. It's like seeing a score of a game. If you go to sleep and you're like, you know what, I got to go to bed, but Celtics are down 30, but I'm still going to check the score.
Right.
And I opened up my phone, just thinking maybe, and again the Post, they used this dark, ominous picture of him, and it just said, "It's Trump," and I was like, and you could feel the collective media like, no fucking way.
Right.
I know, and they fucking did it more than anyone, and we did it too. I mean,
What, do you think the hysteria of the media? Because my thing is that intentionally misleading people the way that Fox News did and the way that Breitbart and all these other places that really speak to people's, fears, that did far worse, I think, than actual, mainstream media, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, like all that. Like,
the hype machine, just them being part of the hype machine.
them saying the shit that they say and leading people to freak out in the ways that they did, where it's like, you take one thing, like a small like nugget of something that Hillary Clinton said, and you're just like, that fucking bitch, and like I do think that Hillary Clinton is far more likable if you give her a chance, which most people did not, because they read these things that speak to their opinions. But that's the same thing with anything. I remember when I was writing for Rolling Stone, and I would write up a live review, and I would say, basically like the show was okay, but the headline would say, some rapper did some dumb thing, but also like it was okay, and people would be like, yo, Jeff fucking went in on that rapper. So people only read headlines.
You must have seen that a million times.
Every single time.
And you didn't write the headlines, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so excited on February 23rd for people to write headlines about us.
Yeah, we'll take any headline. Any headline. By the way, I want the press out there to know, when it comes to them with this show, they will take any headline you feel
That's
like.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
As long as there's a headline.
2 things real quick.
Yeah.
Please.
One, the Fox News' job is to get ratings,
Yes.
not to pick a president. They know what the people who watch them and only watch them want,
Yeah.
and they gave it to them.
Yeah.
That's their job.
That is their job.
I'm not mad at that. 2, Hillary Clinton probably is likable. She got made fun of for all those fucking crazy Suge Knight outfits she was wearing. But all them Suge Knight outfits were fucking bulletproof. With Teflon. That's why they looked ridiculous.
Is that true?
Yes. They looked ridiculous because they were protecting her. So you want to make fun of her.
Oh, her outfits were bulletproof.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you meant
They
Suge's
were
were.
fucking Teflon. That's why they're so baggy and like fucking.
Whoa.
Why is she wearing these?
Ciph, where are you coming with this scorching hot take?
Did you read it on Breitbart?
Because then it may not be true.
It might not be true, but this is what I heard from some legitimate sources. But what I'm saying is like.
Was it Justin Trudeau?
It's justified of why she was wearing ridiculous things, but girls are like, she looks, hating. Like girls are hating on her.
Right.
As much as feminists wanted a woman president, you got to look at the other side of girls who think feminists are annoying.
That's the other thing. It's like it's such false equivalency between this guy who actually does and says horrible things and a woman who her emails were fucked up.
Right.
Nobody even knows what that means. What is the email thing? Like she had her own server?
It's the email thing is one of the biggest non-stories I've ever seen.
Here's the thing. I knew this was going to happen, but I love it how everyone thought Trump lost when that grabbing pussy tape came out. And I was like, this means nothing. Why is everyone celebrating this?
So in this room, right there, I watched the tape.
Mm-hmm.
We're at ESPN. Ballard texts me, and he's like, bro, Ballard's the most, my friend Ballard, you've heard him on the podcast before, Ballard is the most sincere, obsessed, like liberal, but he can get colorblind and not realize it's just like with the Packers. Oh, Jordy Nelson's the greatest wide receiver of all time.
Yeah.
No, Jordy Nelson's really good. He's not the greatest wide receiver of all time. You have to look him in the eye and be like, no, you're wrong. You really are wrong. I'll look up the stats and I'll show you. I promise you're wrong.
Yeah.
So he texts me and he's like, it's over. Do you see what happened yet? No, I'm going to go look. He went, it's over. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. It's over. I go and watch the video.
Wait, he was like happy?
Freaking out.
It's over.
And I texted him and I'm like, dude, it's not gonna mean anything. Now, I ended up conceding like a week later and going, you know what? It had more of an impact than I thought.
Right.
It had an impact in the media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It dominated the media.
It should.
Did you guys use that as a drop at work?
Yeah. What do you say?
Did you guys use that as a drop at work?
I did not.
No.
Is it
Can
too
you bring
late?
it back? Yeah.
Yeah, we use it here. But
By the way, can I just
Here we
say,
sit.
in terms, this is what it is. But
hashtag it's happening.
right,
Sounds foreboding.
separately, Ciph, the air horn piece that I forget who did it online, the video piece about the
Great big story.
sure, but about the evolution of the air horn as a DJ drop and part of this culture was amazing.
Thank you.
That was so awesome. It gave
I bring up my own shit on the podcast.
you.
Great press last week.
It was
Wait,
that was
just-
awesome.
Did someone redid the air horn story?
Different.
They sat down with Ciph, gave him all the credit he deserved, and Ciph told the history of it, the dance hall stuff. And
Where was this article?
I think it's called Great Big Story.
It's a video. It's a video.
CNN. It's like
Oh, no way. I didn't see
Your
that.
brother posted it.
I don't be watching what he's doing.
a love on that.
It was awesome, Ciph. It was very, very cool.
That's cool. So, because I remember the article.
The Red Bull article.
Yes.
Yeah, this was like a 2.5-minute video of me explaining it.
I thought it was great.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's dope that you, by the way.
But they kept trying to say I was like...
You invented the air horn?
I had a significant part.
Were you able to make clear that you just had a part?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wording is spectacular.
It was great.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
You're like, I played a part in making it the version that it is now.
I have heard an air horn, and it sounds nice.
The way they showed me the research and where it spawned from is definitely my air horn. That they played all these different songs that used my air horn that I made at Hot 97. Like they play little clips of them, like little where where they use the air horn.
Talk about it.
Definitely my air horn.
When you made that original air horn, did you play it off a replay, or you layered it? You laid it on the computer.
Pro Tools.
Because then we didn't have replays back then.
Right. So you put it was in Delete. Well, by the way, there were replays back then. We didn't have one. There've been replays forever.
No, replays came out. Replays I think came out around.
Late 90s?
Maybe late 90s, yeah.
Did
So
you
there-
invent the replay?
Did you invent these replay? So wait, so you laid it out in Delete,
I invented hard drive.
and you just chopped it?
I placed it on 2 different tracks. So I put one, and then halfway through, underneath on the next track, I put the next one, and then put another one above that,
And then let them all finish. And they all finish. Right. So you didn't cut one off.
When you
all keep
invented the air horn, did you know you were making history?
I wish I had published it.
God, can you imagine? It is cool, though, that you've even gotten the story at all. Because most times when people do things like that, it's nothing.
I got mad love, yo.
You know how many black artists have invented things so much better than the air horn, and they're literally just thrown in the garbage? No one said a word.
But a Puerto Rican man makes the air horn.
The Puerto Rican man takes credit for the Jamaicans' music.
Never take credit. All credit where it's due.
Why do you think Kanye hated on me for talking about Led Zeppelin?
Right.
Because Ciph invented the air horn?
Now you're putting it all together.
It goes straight to the top.
No, because I afterwards, when I was trying to rationalize what Kanye could have been mad about, I was like, I did more research on Led Zeppelin because I just always listen to music. I mean, but they did. I don't know. By the way, let me be clear. Let me be clear and unequivocal. I believe Kanye was just being an asshole. But if you did do research and go, what could someone have a tone about? He might have had someone who said, they rip shit off. And if you go look, there are YouTube things where it's like they break like 7 of their classics.
Yeah.
And it's straight up like, zoinks, thanks.
Yeah.
What's your name? Old Smokey McFarlane.
Yeah.
Smokey McFarlane is on. His version sounds like, I was walking on the wall. And their version's like the exact same thing. It's like stairway to ... and there's a stairway to heaven. Like I don't think stairway, but some big ones.
Yeah, like when the levee breaks and stuff like that.
Yeah. But that said, excuse me, we're honoring a hip hop group. Let's all relax for a second. Stealing and borrowing music and not giving credit does happen.
Yeah, that's why De La Soul can't have any of their stuff
Anywhere.
online because they stole
Everything.
mad shit.
Yeah. By the way, when I was a little kid,
What'd you steal?
You didn't realize necessarily that Me, Myself, and I was a complete smash from another generation.
Right.
Older people did. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. That's De La Soul.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. I mean, now inside their album, they credited stuff. I'm sure.
I
I don't know. In the '80s, did people credit like that?
I don't think so.
Who did they take it from? Old Smokey McFarlane?
They took it from Old Smoking Fun.
But like Paul's Boutique is just a mess of they stole a bunch of shit. I know.
It's fine. Listen, it's fine.
Listen, just don't bring up Beastie Boys at the Tribe Called Quest then.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I got big press last week. I got the air,
Tell us more. Yeah.
the air horn story.
Yeah.
And the
And Cipha has also been named. Nope. We'll get to that.
That's
Cipha
my
has
favorite.
also been named in Donald Trump's cabinet.
Oh, my God. Congratulations.
So,
Cipha.
by the way,
that
I
brings
went-
their diversity up
Yeah,
one
yeah.
notch.
No, you could run the HUD if Ben Carson has literally zero experience in urban development. He's just literally the only black guy he knows.
Wait,
Why?
one quick thing about that, by the way. Just a real quick aside. Secretary of Energy.
Rick Perry.
Rick Perry,
It's
right?
Rick Perry, yes.
Former governor of Texas. When he was running for president, said that he wanted to get rid of 3 agencies. One of them was the Department of Energy, and forgot it. And he said, "Oops!" Right? I just read his some of his testimony in front of the Senate when he's going through a confirmation process, and he honestly sounds like he learned things in this process. And of all of the stupid secretary nominees, he sounds like the most interested in doing a good job, like a legitimate job, spoke with the Obama people, has views that are different than Trump's and are more like Obama. I was like, is he going to end up being the best out of all of them?
Well, that's shocking, especially considering he mistakenly wanted to get rid of the department.
Also, didn't even know.
Or do the people that would vote for him think it's bullshit?
No, he actually did not even know what the Department of Energy did.
Right,
He didn't know. He didn't know what it
like
did.
a couple months ago when he accepted the position, back
He didn't
in November.
know.
He thought that he was just going to be
I read something today too. It was
talking to his oil buddies, and then meanwhile it's like, no, you're in charge of the nukes.
It's like all kinds of shit. Like, no, you got to watch the nukes. Too.
Yeah.
I got the nukes.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the nukes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How many nukes? What do you mean I have them?
Right. Yeah.
All right. So last week, our companion podcast, Improper Etiquette, Laura Stiles' podcast, which you should subscribe to right now.
Shout out to them.
Which I will never listen to again.
So there was an article. Basically, what happened was
not because of Leah, because of Laura. I don't want to hear about Laura's boyfriend one more time.
What? It was too much for you.
Oh.
What? You listened to that episode?
Wait, now I want to hear it.
Episode where Leah apologized. I listened to the other one too, where the shit got hairy. But Laura's boyfriend stories, please.
Too much information.
Oh.
Anyway,
They're
rate,
talking about
subscribe, sign up.
Yeah.
They're talking about this intercourse.
Yes.
Wait,
or orgasm
has-
situations.
She has sex?
I don't want to. I see Laura. I can't picture her like that.
That's-
her legs on some her boyfriend's shoulders or whatever.
That is true. All right. So real quick, she on the podcast decides to air out Michael Che and say,
From SNL.
I know him, Michael Che from SNL, and say, I know him from a dating website. We text, and he's disrespectful to women, and he's shitty, and blah, 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 blah. Michael Che is like, what? And reaches out. It gets, because... So, however, it doesn't matter how. The New York Post gets involved.
New York Post, page 6.
Page 6 gets involved.
Yeah. Each of them think the other one went to page 6.
So it means they both did.
Yeah, how is that possible?
I know Che did it. I know Che did it.
Okay, got it. So Leah did
I
then.
have evidence.
Direct evidence. Okay. So then...
I don't know if Leah did.
So somehow... Oh, no.
Because they might have just listened to
I know what it was. Yes, that is what it was.
Yeah.
There's a listener... that is a loyal listener who writes for page 6.
Okay.
So they write it up. Che hears about it. Like, oh, that's fucked up. I'm going to send you the whole text message. Sends a text message. If any man, at least, and I think most women, would read the text message, they would say, all he seems is disinterested. And if I was Leah, and I told Leah this, if I was Leah, it would have made me feel shitty too. And I probably been like, fuck that guy to an extent. I get that part. But the character assassination, when you read what happened, is like, no, I was just texting him too much and he wasn't into it. That's how you...
And
is that how you saw it?
So people know this is 12 or 13 screenshots. So it's a limited conversation, but it's more than just one text. This is,
Yes, no, it went on.
You see the whole story.
Now, so let's start here, though, Ciph. I thought I read the whole Post article, and I didn't see your name was mentioned in it?
No, I'm in the text message.
Yeah, text messages.
Oh!
15 screenshots. I'm on page 13.
It's so great. It's so great.
You're
That is
page
the
one.
worst. You had a CNN story about you. No, I was not.
Okay. Did it say I asked Ciph about you?
Nope.
No, did it say that I asked Rosenberg about you?
Nope. It said Ciph. So how did this affect you? No, I know, but how were you dragged into it? At all?
Press wise?
No. Press I know you're happy with.
Just being the go-between Leah and Che.
Still. I mean, not still, but after it happened.
Yeah.
I'm Ciph's friend.
And was Che just Che just must think this is a crazy person and he doesn't understand what happened.
Che is mad cool, low key,
That's not what I heard from
Leah.
text
Yeah,
messages.
yeah.
Che's mad cool, man.
And then did you try? I had to then try to talk to Leah
1,000 times.
to be like, you can't respond to the whole world. She started getting. She'd never been
That's what I told her.
She's never been dragged before.
Also, she's not a broadcaster. Like, we've been trained for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A, you're not a broadcaster.
Or a comedian.
Or really a public personality that much.
Yeah, where you're a comedian, you could just start fucking making fun of the whole shit.
She's married to the mob, so
And they didn't help.
no help at all.
So, yeah, I did. I felt for her because she's like, but all these people, I was like, stop responding now.
You were the perfect person to help her.
Because I've been through it.
Because once it goes race, that's it. There's no,
I said, she's
I
like,
told her
they're
for
calling
sure.
me a white bitch, blah, blah. I was like, it doesn't matter. They don't
Yeah, like,
know
I've been
you.
called that.
Yeah, you can't reply and sound racist back. That is not going to be... some of the racism towards her, though, was so funny. Like, there was articles told, I mean, Mick... They would just use the Mick as a thing to connect other names for white people.
Oh, like Smokey McFarlane?
Yeah, like,
Old
hold
Smokey
on,
McFarlane.
what's another white name? Besides Becky.
Oh,
Another first name.
Michelle.
no.
Jennifer.
Amber,
No, not Amber.
No.
Tiffany.
Heather.
Heather McBecky or something like that. People were just
Yeah.
doing shit like that to her, and she's like, and I'm like, listen, it's not like what she did was. She didn't do anything that bad. It was like It was like not a good decision to air someone out on your own emotions. And what he did wasn't that bad. He just showed a conversation which wasn't that damning, and that could have been it. But you can't then get caught up in what how the internet responds.
Well, here's the thing with me and Che always have this joke. When we go on a road together, white people know him, black people know me. Right?
That's so funny.
That's good.
Literally, like...
No, to a T, I'm sure
in
it's.
a mall, there'll be like a white girl coming towards us, and you can tell she recognizes somebody. And I hit him. I go, "It's you, all you, all you." And then there'll be a black person, and he's like, "All you, all you."
They're like,
It
it's the
must
air horn guy.
And it must be so true. Like to it.
100%. And it's mad funny. But we're comedians, and we're joking around about it, right? Then one black guy recognized both of us in San Francisco. He's like, "Yo, Ciph, what up?" "Oh shit, Che, what up?" And then he goes, "Yo, I'm a comedian." Nah, you don't count. You don't count. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" "Nah, you don't count. You don't count."
We thought we were finally scored one.
So then we were in Vegas together for CES.
You guys are
Well,
a couple.
We
You are-
we just happened to be in Vegas.
okay.
And
You have not had sex.
Okay.
No, you're thinking of Laura and her
Laura's
boyfriend.
podcast. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And then I go, "Oh, we were with Colin Jost also, and Colin Jost is getting, both of them were getting mobbed by white girls in front of the restaurant when we walked through the casino." And I'm like, "Black people still don't know you, huh?" He goes, "Nah." He goes, "Since the special, I'm popping in the hood. Michael Che matters." He's like, "I'm getting a lot more lately." And then once he says that, this black guy goes, he has one. Did you watch the special?
I've only seen first of all, I love what I watched, but only the beginning.
Oh, so there's a joke he has about 9/11, never forget, whatever. So he walks
Yeah, I love the
guy
joke.
goes, "Never forget." And I was like, "Damn, my reign is over, yo."
He got it.
So his special just happens to help him get more black fans when this shit happens with Leah. So it was like
It sparked the race stuff even more.
they're new black fans, and he's speaking about some black shit in his special.
Yeah, a lot of it.
So it hit like, you know what I'm saying? It was all timing. Like it just hit at that right moment.
Also, shout out to Ciph in the background
The facts.
during the special. Also, Ciph looking at his phone during the special.
Well, you had to. You had to look at your phone.
This part's where I'm like, my head on my head, I'm wearing shorts. Like,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I got abused by comedians. It's the thing, like, you don't wear shorts when you do comedy. I was like, I was DJing.
Why do you not wear shorts as a
I don't know,
comedian?
it's like a comedy rule. I never subscribe to it. I never subscribe to comedy. Fuck them.
Ciph doesn't believe in the system.
No, fuck the comedy system.
Hey, so it's the real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your girls tour.
Your
Yeah.
girls
It's not
tour.
actually a tour. It's
No.
one concert.
Your girls tour.
Great name.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
amazing. That's a.
It's a great name.
Thank you.
It is going down February 23rd at SOBs.
Yeah.
Tickets available at Ticket Web. Is that what
Yes,
that is?
Yeah,
they're there.
You can go to ItsTheReal.com. You can go to SOBs.com.
Yeah. It's going to be...
And what
it's-
about the podcast? You also have a podcast.
We
podcast?
also
Waste of
podcast.
time with It's the Real. We are almost actually 100 episodes deep, which is...
Wow.
yeah.
And this is a.
Podcasts that count their fucking episodes.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You guys
Podcast.
hates podcasts, and particularly you guys.
No, it's quite understandable. Also,
You can also listen to episode 67 with
Ciph and
Yes,
Rosenberg.
I've
it's a great
I
episode.
have no. You think I remember every single person's
Also,
episode?
Just
No.
because they know the overall number doesn't mean they know every number.
Ciph does get mentioned a lot. Bobby Trend's episode, Young Sav and Steve-O episode. There's
That's facts.
That's
How
right.
come you don't get invited to parties? You
Take
both
something
get
else
invited
out.
to lots of parties.
By the
don't
way, I
understand
hope
why
you
they-
are, man.
They
I
put a lot
bet
of
you
people
do.
on.
You
But
guys just have
guys,
like a fear of missing out.
You are both on the list for your girls' tour at SOB's
Thank
on
you
February
very
23rd.
much.
Yeah, of course. February 23rd.
I can't make it, but I really do appreciate the offer.
Thursday
Wow.
night. It's going to be good times. Just
Oh,
Blaze
sure.
DJing.
All-Star Weekend or something?
No,
No,
we
it's
made
after
sure
All-Star.
it's not All-Star, it's not Grammys, it's not
No,
Super Bowl.
Peter just he just doesn't want to do it.
That's fair. That's totally understandable.
No, I'm totally swamped. What day you said it was again? Yep, that's the one. That day is.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're telling stories, we're rapping, we're bringing special guests.
No joke. I'm in Montreal.
Oh,
So,
for just
no
for
Cipha
that?
Sounds. Count that up.
That's for a speeding ticket.
Oh, my God.
I hope I'm on the jury for that.
Greg Hyde? Stat guy Greg? All right, guys, before we wrap, because my schedule was so crazy this week, the only time we could do this podcast, I had to miss my friend Loriana May's release party tonight, her release performance. So here's what I need y'all to do.
Yes.
Her,
I'll see you guys later.
I have 10 more seconds. Her album is called Can't Go Back. It will be out by the time you're hearing this. It will be out on Apple Music, Spotify, She's fucking incredible. So please search for Loriana May and check out Can't Go Back. And when you hear her and hear how dope she is, I need you to tweet her and be like, yo, Rosenberg put me on. This shit is fucking fire. So, because I never miss shit that she does. But we had to get this done in the law caught up with me, guys. And I'll be honest, my mood tonight to party it's tough. It was a tough time.
Do you want to do some Molly?
That would be an interesting way to take in the whole Trump thing. Just rolling.
That's right.
Gold 2-seater.
Yo, Peter, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
No problem.
10
Guys,
years, we finally made it.
Anytime. Of all the accomplishments, you got to the New York Times before you got to us.
I mean, it's a very tough ticket.
So this is the
Hard to get a
ticket
ticket.
for Juan Epstein.
Yeah.
It's the real. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.